Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday um, here at the Bulger Hole. We're closed up for the evening, and Brian and I were going to just sit down and have a quick conversation. We called it the Bolter Report.
Yeah.
It's kind of we just talk about what's going on in the world of Warhammer at this point in time. So, for fancy introductions, my name's Jack. I'm one of the co-owners of the Bolter Hole. And this is.
I'm Brian. I'm a guy that spends too much time at the bolt roll.
And so what we were just wanted to kind of generally, talk about what's going on in the world of Warhammer, and there's a ton right now. So,
Yep.
and not only a ton going on in the world of Warhammer, but also a ton happening in the world. So we're coming out of, in Massachusetts, we're coming out of the world of COVID. Massachusetts has done a really great job minimizing and slowly transitioning back. And so now we're in the teeth of phase two, which means people can come into the store and browse and buy stuff, but we still are not open for gaming.
Not yet.
Not yet. So, so we have that going on. And so we're just trying to come out of that. We're starting to get our orders back. Games Workshop's shipping stuff again. Forge World reopened today. So like lots of things are kind of coming out. But we also have Ninth Edition. We also have Age of Sigmar. There's a ton of things that are still...
A Zote?
We have a Zote.
We got to talk about that at some point.
Absolutely. And so we have... we tried to kind of organize this a tiny bit. So before we get into upcoming releases, things that we've seen but haven't been released, Ninth Edition, Age of Sigmar, we wanted to talk a little bit about what we're doing. So for me, I am in the midst of a couple projects. I'm painting stuff for the shop. I just started doing some textured bases today, so there'd be textured base examples. And then I'm working on a Sisters of Battle army project, and in addition to that, I took on the challenge of assembling a Forge World tank for somebody. So there's some scrubbing and some sawing.
Which one is it?
It is the Praetor assault launcher. It's a giant IG vehicle,
Have
or
fun with that.
Astra Militarum vehicle.
Astra Militarum, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
So, what about you, Brian? What are you working on?
What am I working on? I'm working on Legions in the Gash Army.
Huh?
Hey, Rick McKinney. Hey, Rick McKinney. What's up, man? I've been working on Legions in the Gash, which is really fun. It's kind of weird because I was watching Army of Darkness right around February, during vacation, and I was like, I really want to paint skeletons. And that movie literally just inspired me to start a Legion in the Gash Army. So having fun with that. I just finished some Black Knights. I'm starting up another big block of Skeleton Wars, but I'm playing a lot of Warcry, which is awesome. So now I'm painting more terrain for that, and I'm going to jump back and forth between the skeletons and the Warcry terrain, so I don't get burned out from skeletons. Because the first block of 40 took a lot out of me.
I'm doing something a little similar with Sisters. Although my goal is to paint a squad of 10, and then do something else, and then paint a squad of 10 and do something else, because current Sisters iteration, even though they're in power armor, they're actually pretty. They're borderline horde army. So I'm going to need at least 60 bodies. I'm hoping to run 3 squads of 10 Sisters, 2 full squads of Repentia, and that's before you even get into things like head HQ models, the support elements and rhinos and tanks. So
Is it the most beautiful line you've worked with?
I think so.
Yeah.
In general, things fit together really well. It is the seamlessness of the way they go together is pretty exciting to me. They're easy to convert. I've chopped up a bunch of stuff already.
Look at Rick.
Yeah.
His plus. I was actually going to ask Rick what warband he's going to do, because he has to come play with us, because we basically got the band back together. We're playing outside in my driveway.
Okay.
So we're being socially responsible. But yeah, Rick, I'm very curious, Rick. Which warband are you doing? Sorry, I mean to interrupt.
Oh no, Rick. My goal is to the painting of them is I'm not going for parade standard for every model, because there's so many of them.
They're gonna get killed pretty. I mean, they're
Yeah.
also T3, right? So
They are. So I'm going to be doing that, and then, so I'll do those. And my goal is to paint one thing and then do something else. So the other day I just assembled, like I had an old Horse Heresy Rhino,
Oh,
and
cool.
I was not going to finish it for Death Guard, and I didn't have anything Death Guard specific on it. So I just repurposed it for Sisters, and so it's good. I'm excited for that project, and I'm even excited about this Forge World tank, which, you know, assembling Forge World.
You
can be
like
a real-
doing that, don't you? You like putting
Yeah.
together. I don't know how you. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you like putting those. I love putting kits together, but Forge World resin, the bigger ones. I've never done a big one.
Yeah,
Only the little ones.
it can be pretty time consuming. I'm guessing I'm probably going to be using most of a tube of green stuff to help with the joins and fill gaps. So,
What was I going to ask? Oh, have you ever put together or painted any Legions of Nagash stuff? Those kits. You did Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
I did Bone Reapers. I assembled a Bone Reaper army
Yeah.
for a customer once. Yeah.
So the skeleton kit is about 12 years old. It looks incredible. Like it's
Yeah.
still, that's the thing I'm really impressed with, because the last AOS stuff I painted was Warriors of Chaos, but it was like the old Warriors of Chaos. If it was nothing new, it was all like the only new thing was the War Shrine, which I guess is kind of new.
Right.
But yeah, the skeletons hold up, and the Black Knight models are incredible. Like
Yeah.
just in one of the really cool levels of detail for anybody that's watching, if you played Fantasy Battle, some of the barding on some of the horses is actually the same barding as the Empire Knights that you can't get anymore. But it's the same, but I painted a ton of those knights before, so
Right.
it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
You
That
know?
is cool. Like they're recently raised.
Yeah, there's a lot of-
recently raised from a battlefield.
Yeah, there's cues to like other lines, and the model line is just it's fun. It's fun to
Yeah.
paint them. It's with Skeleton Horde now as a contrast paint. It makes the bone itself really really easy. It's just that with Wraithbone highlight, boom, done,
Yeah.
and it looks pretty good. So
so let's move on. Next step. So we have we know 9th edition is coming.
there's so much stuff.
There's but before before COVID hit, and even during the whole quarantine, we got hit with like preview after preview after preview. We know there's a ton of stuff coming out, and there's just like we haven't even seen it all.
Condensed.
Yeah. So we have Realm Lords that just got put out for release. That what they call the Realm Lord, the launch box. Launch box, I think, is what they
Is
call
that
it.
the word they're using for it?
Yeah.
That's what they're calling the Indomitus box.
Oh, okay. So I think that
Maybe
was
called
what-
launch box too. Who knows?
Yeah. So so the Realm Lords, basically the new iteration of High Elves, pretty awesome, pretty beautiful models.
Altharian.
Yeah,
That
very
model's like
the Ghost Knight, like
I
so
think-
cool.
I think that's gonna win
Yeah,
when they do like the next Ever Chosen.
yeah.
I guarantee you that model's gonna be like Gulliman and Abaddon and
Oh
there's
yeah,
a thing called Tragoth. Those are the three that you always saw. I bet
yeah.
that Spirit of Altharian's gonna be.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
gonna paint that in like so many different.
They're
cool
gonna put
ways.
LEDs inside of it. It's gonna be incredible. Yeah,
Oh
it's-
yeah, yeah.
I still don't know how it goes together.
No, I don't either.
Honestly.
And then you have spearmen back. You have archers back, and then
Yeah.
you have elves with hammers
Big-
and the horns.
And a war cow.
You have the giant mountain cow of doom.
I like the yeah. What do you think of
Um,
that stuff? I think the non-cow is great. Just the
Yeah.
cow looks kind of weird, doesn't he?
Yeah, the cow doos.
I don't know.
Hands off. We have this bolter. I have a couple more of these bolter hole shirts, honestly, but these were from when we opened, and we're down to our last few.
Those are
So
collector's items right there.
Collector's
I got
items,
One.
yeah.
One's extra schmedium.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we do have a couple, but they're only like mediums and larges. So like even this one is like I'm like maybe pushing this one's to limit a little bit. So but we do have a couple left. So if you wanted one, I'm sure the size was right, we could get you one for I think they were $10.
Those are launch day shirts. I remember those.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still got mine. Sweet.
So, and then so we have the Realm Lords coming,
Yep.
but we have a box, and then we know the rest of the line is coming eventually, likely in August.
So yeah, what's the deal with? Because I thought they were going to do the Realm Lords after 9th. I thought they were going to do the box now, and
Yeah.
then do 9th, and then do the army, kind of like the Sisters, right? Sisters box came out Thanksgiving Day,
Yep.
and then January is when they had most of the stuff come out.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably what makes sense, right? But then there's
Yeah.
the Giants,
And then there are the Giants for Age of Sigmar, with like
which look incredible.
huge,
Right.
and like they dwarf they dwarf the giants that already exist, which are already pretty big kits. So we're expecting those, but we don't know when.
I'm thinking. I bet that got pushed back.
Yeah, and so we know that Age of Sigmar has an entire army, the Realm Lords, and it has a second army, which is basically one multi-part, super gigantic plastic kit
That we know of.
that we know of.
Right. There could be more. Who knows?
There could be a smaller giant, like a baby giant.
Could be. I mean, they only showed us one kit that looks incredible, but
Yeah.
it looks like almost like a knight kind of idea where you can ally into other armies if you want to.
Right.
Right. And I'm sure you're gonna see some really cool like chaos conversions and
Oh yeah.
right
Yeah.
Skaven conversions and
Yeah. Beat the destruction.
yeah, giants look. Yeah, they do look amazing. I think that like giant kit in 2006 was a pretty like that was a seminal kit when that came out.
Yeah.
Right? Would you agree? Like when that came out, that was like the largest thing. Well, besides the Stomp and the
Right. But
and the
they
Baneblade,
but that came out, and it also showed us, and I think they point to when you listen to the old designer interviews when they first started doing interviews with designers and stuff on the old podcasts. They talked a lot about that kit plus the Banshee kit and the floating
oh, the Mortis engine.
yeah that just not the Mortis engine but the floaty
Karen Wraith. Yeah, how they influenced the whole Nighthaunt range.
Yeah, they influence the whole Nighthaunt.
And the Magakin from that one guy,
Yeah.
the Nurgle Clampack guy, right?
Yeah, and what that did was functionally create a new design philosophy of means in which you could merge kits, where it wasn't just like a leg and another part of a leg. It was like things that interacted in order to put them together. And like, do you remember how the giant's knee kind of fit into the clothes and like?
Yeah.
Like that allowed Games Workshop to like a more creative design philosophy.
That model had like you said, it was more of a 3D model because I remember putting it together for my Orcs and Goblins, and we actually used. It's cool because you've played it with Underworlds. It's actually really fun, that scenario with the giant. But I remember like putting it on, you could see the armor because there's a part where he has like a sea dragon cloak, like the ones that the Corsairs wore, and it's like that over the leg, and then there's like chain. It's just it's all cool. It's all sorts of neat stuff.
And you can see that kind of in new things, like when you're putting together a Sister of Battle, and like they're like you're like, well, this model almost looks hollow.
Yeah.
But it all forms together, and you have a solid model. And then you have models like Altharion, who are that's like a ghost knight.
I don't know how it looks like a optical illusion. I don't know how that thing. It looks incredible. That one. I'm trying to think of like the more recent. I think the most recent stuff I've built is probably Underworld stuff.
Yeah.
Those models too. Like you look at like even from the original starter. Like you look at the Bloodbound guys. Like those Bloodbound models. Like if you compare those to any Chaos model from pre-2010, find me a better sculpt than just those like random 5 dudes.
Yep.
The quality, and like it used to be that like metal is better, resin's now it's like if I drop a plastic model, it's not going to explode like a grenade.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. I think that folks that complain about plastic models have never had a giant metal Gazkull fall from a shelf.
Or a Trigon grenade. The guy throws.
Yeah.
We'll tell that story another day.
Yeah. So, so then when we're looking at releases, so we have the Giants, we have the Realm Lords that have been previewed.
That's just AOS.
That's just Age of Sigmar. We don't know what else might come, but we do know that they had the, not the Goblin Blood Bowl team, but remember they had the Grot team, which was the Pump Wagon, the rebirth of the old Pump Wagon.
All the specialist stuff is due, right? So you have the Blood Bowl team, you have
you have the burning the guys on fire for Warcry.
Yeah, the Scions of Flame for Warcry, right? Which we saw one of them.
We saw several. We saw.
Did we see? Oh yeah, you're right.
And one of them literally on fire.
And we saw the Dark Elf. Sorry, the Daughters of Cain.
Daughters of Cain.
Warband for Warcry, which is
for Underworlds.
Yeah, but there was also there was an Elven warband they showed. Wasn't there one they showed for Warcry too that was non-chaos? I'm almost positive they showed.
Interesting.
If anybody's watching that knows if I'm wrong or not. Maybe
I could be. I
feel like there was also a non-chaos warband models they glimpsed at. I'm almost positive. And
I know that there's a Daughters of Cain and an Auroch army coming for Ironjawz coming for Underworlds, but I didn't know. But there's like. You can just do wave after wave of models for Warcry, and they all can like join up with armies. It's like Warcry is like amazing.
And then there's Necromunda.
which has like a couple things coming.
House of Blades, was it?
House of Blades, which is all about the Escher gang and like new Escher models. And we saw Plastic Ogren for, we think they're Plastic Ogren for Necromunda. And
I didn't see that. What's
and
that
there
one?
was a new character, an Arbite's female officer
Oh, yeah, that was
with
cool.
a cyber dog. Like there's so many cool
Was that,
things.
I think that was LVO.
Yeah. And then and that's
Tree Man.
the Tree Man for Blood Bowl.
That looked awesome with
Yeah.
the squirrel bit.
I mean, there's just so many things happening.
And how about the Double Ninth Edition? Can we talk
Right.
about 40K?
And then you have the Psychic Awakening leading into, which means we have one more Psychic Awakening book, Pariah,
Yeah.
which introduces the Necron dude literally flaying someone, and it introduces
That Inquisitor model is
the
incredible.
Inquisitor with a dragon
And-
shoulder pad,
And the Harlequin.
and the Harlequin, and Epherial Stern, who's been a character in GW lore and history for a while. She is the only sister who's a Psyker. She's basically the bane of chaos. Like,
She the one that's got the glowy eyes in the picture?
yeah, Demon Fuge.
Demon. That's right.
So
yeah.
she like literally like just like walks into a place and kills demons. Like she's been thrice born. She's died and come back.
we need a model for that priest from Dark Imperium.
Yeah,
That's what we need.
we definitely do. I actually have a hefty desire to take the Blood Bowl mini with the old fat dude with the chain.
Oh, what's his
chainsaw,
name? What's his name?
Helmet Wolf.
Helmet Wolf. Yes.
And I am.
He's got the beard guy.
Yeah, he has a giant beard gun, and I'm hoping to convert him into a priest.
That's a good
For
idea.
my sister's army. So we'll see if how that goes.
So should we talk about what's coming up for 9th that we know about?
So yeah, let's shift over to 9th edition, and we'll try to keep this brief because we don't want to go past like 25 minutes
Sounds
or
like
so.
Sounds like one of Brian.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do we know about 9th edition so far? We know.
For rules or just models?
Well, let's start with the big box.
Okay. The
Which-
launch box. It's
The
not
launch
a,
box,
it's
not a starter box.
No.
It doesn't have dice or rulers or any
Doesn't?
of the. It doesn't have dice.
No?
It doesn't have rulers.
No
it doesn't,
flippy stick?
No whippy sticks.
stick?
No, that's probably a bad idea in this day and age to have whippy sticks. The liability is.
It's issues.
Yeah, but it has
The ex girl.
but it has
I was gonna send her this video. I guess I can't show her this anymore.
No.
I was gonna. She's like, because I told her I was like, I'm gonna be in a video for my buddy's shop, and I was gonna show it to her. Now I can't because.
because Rick is
Thanks,
yeah,
Rick.
yeah. So but the
Oh boy.
so
Where were we?
the Indominus box has Necrons versus Space Marines, and we've moved our Primaris into the close combat realm.
They have bikes.
They have bikes.
Cool looking bikes.
Cool looking bikes. They have a quad that isn't coming in the box, but it's going to come out and support.
I think that looks awesome.
I do too.
I don't get all the hate.
I don't
I
either.
saw a funny Mario Kart meme, which is
mean,
great.
I think the Mario Kart meme might
It's
be
funny.
one of the best.
It was funny, but I think the model looks cool.
I do too. I mean, I can.
Yeah, Nuno. Hey, Nuno.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Long live the whippy sticks for sure. I think that so you have
By the way, hold on. Shout out to Nuno. He ran like the coolest narrative AOS event I've ever been to. Any narrative event, not just AOS. Yeah, he ran an awesome event around this time. It was right around this time last year. It was almost a year ago.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was incredible. Yeah, it was wicked fun.
yeah.
Shout out to Nuno.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh, so we have the
No whippy sticks.
whippy sticks, but so you have the platform, which is like a platform weapon, which
Oh
has
yeah,
like-
the fire
yeah.
strike thing.
Yeah, and you have the like the Primaris Mario go kart, which I love both of them.
Why not embrace both?
Embrace both. But I think the thing that let's just give a shout out to the really terrific characters, like the Judicar with the giant sword.
yeah, best model. When I didn't pay off. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
When Jess Goodwin says his favorite model is that, people should pay attention.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
yeah.
The guy that basically created Space Marines and Eldar and
Yeah.
pretty much
And I have to say that the Primaris Chaplain in this box is absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it cool that we have like different types of chaplains now?
Yeah.
So like they want to explore the that Reclusium and like that part of the Astartes and like which I think that's really cool because then maybe we could see different types of librarians, I mean, I think that's really
Yeah.
exciting.
Well, we already have two types. We have the Phobos librarian and the
Oh yeah,
other
that's true.
librarian, so-
Yeah.
and then so then we have the Primaris. We have all like some really cool Primaris characters. We have a bunch of guys with swords. We have a bunch of guys with shields.
Assault intercessors.
Assault
Finally,
intercessors. Yeah.
finally, like now you can make Death Company that doesn't get really angry and fire bolters at you. I always thought that was the most ridiculous thing. Like
Well, you could
this,
get
the Black Rage, then they just get really angry. Come on,
yeah,
come
really
on,
mad.
come on.
Really mad. So they're really
Angrily fire a bolter at somebody. They think they're Sanguinius, so Sanguinius is gonna take out his bolter. Come on. Anyway, that was the silliest thing when I saw.
well. I'm sure that Sanguinius took a couple shots at Horus before his heart.
So
was
it's
ripped out.
so the intercessors are gonna sit. No, they're gonna run at you and beat you over the face with a bolter rifle. They're
You
not gonna sit there and lay down disciplined fire.
You know, here's
on.
here's a hot
Come on.
take, and I know I'm wrong, but like.
Okay.
What if like you know how they're always like throwing curveballs and the whole like Horus Heresy thing?
Sanguinius didn't die.
What if Sanguinius agreed to join Horus in the very end and the Emperor killed him?
I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be awesome.
It's not going to happen, but it would be cool.
They'll never let Sanguinius do that.
No. So
I do hope they change that story though. I hope it's not what everybody thinks.
I mean they have to do something to make some sort of change, but I mean
bet-
they've already made a ton of changes to what the original storyline is,
Which
but-
is good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Okay, so the models in that. So did you talk about the Shield brother, the Sword
So
Brethren?
we have the sword, but
What are they called?
The
Blade
Blade
Guard.
Blade Guard veterans. Yes, that's it. So they have
I don't think
swords
that's
and
it.
shields. I think, and then you have the Melta guys, which have
Yeah, the Desolate. No, not Desolators. That's AOS.
yeah, I don't.
They have like, they look like Melta guns.
They do look
they
like
look like
Melta
multi.
guns,
They
yeah.
look like multi meltas, but they're like longer range and better.
Yep. And then you shift to the Necron side. Now the Necrons have
Hot take. I think they're better looking than the Marines.
they're pretty nice.
I think those Necron models are better. That Royal Warden model.
So the thing that I really like about the
Man.
new Necrons is so when they years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago, when they expanded the Necron line,
The Triarch Praetorians and the.
they did a very like clean
Yeah.
sort of like safe take, and they've expanded sort of the background of them, and gone a little bit was the like real deep like sinister creepy horror
Yeah.
element.
Mm-hmm.
But with this new range, I feel like they bring that back.
Well-
So you can have a standard dynasty with all the kind of clean, crisp, like the old. But then now you have the option to really delve into that like creepy aspect. I mean, you have a model coming out with. You have a model
It's a
coming out
tentacle
with.
thing. Is it like the creepy looking, like almost like a.
Oh yeah, like the War of the Worlds thing.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a jellyfish.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
but like even the pariah model that's
Rick's
coming.
lying. Rick's excited.
Yeah. The pariah model that's coming out, with a character literally like
Oh, yeah.
cleansing the flesh off. Is that Trezor?
No. Trez and the Infinite's the awesome dude that has Creed in a Pokeball.
Oh right.
That's
Yeah, I can't remember.
it's a special time in Cryptek. I was talking about Ray
Yeah.
because Ray's like a very big Necron aficionado. I
Yeah.
forget his name. Okay, Illuminor Xeros.
Yeah, and so he's like literally like.
Hey, Mike Shaw, what's up, man?
So the I'm really excited about the new Necrons
How about the
simply because like they just look gorgeous.
How about the fact that you can choose to make them look busted or
new.
new, and like the newer things that we've never seen before all look creepy.
Yeah.
Like the wraiths always reminded me of the Squiddies from
Yep.
Matrix, right? But
Yep.
the newer creature, all the newer constructs, they all look like almost like insectoid or like
Yeah.
weird. They definitely found inspiration in nature. Like they look almost organic,
Yeah.
right? Pretty cool. I really like that Royal Warden model. I
Yeah.
think that Royal Warden model's like, and then the fact that like, I think we're gonna get a new metallic paint too.
We might. I
think
mean, we
that-
might get a metallic contrast.
Well, maybe because that they have that like bronze color on that scheme they show of the Necrons, and it doesn't look like an existing paint. So I think I have a feeling that we're gonna get a new metallic paint
Yeah.
too. I hope.
And so, but there are a few extra things that we know. So they previewed a bunch of models, but based on images we've seen, artwork and like actual stock images of like models, we know we're getting a Silent King model. We know we're getting
Yeah.
a new.
How about the big thing at the end of the movie?
Yeah, like we know we're getting the.
We haven't talked about that, by the way.
Yeah.
The cinematic.
Oh, the cinematic, like.
5 hours of PDP zoom. Sorry.
Oh,
Dear God, I'm sorry, Rick.
yeah,
oh boy.
yeah. PDP.
Oh,
huh?
it's turn your camera off hobby.
Yeah.
Do that. That's what, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever do that.
Never. So there's So we know we're getting a Silent King. We know we're getting a new
Whatever that is.
we're getting a new what's it called what the Ceton, right?
Oh yeah. There's a picture of the big one. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get and we know we're getting new heavy destroyers.
What about that thing in the video though? There's like that thing in the video they show at the very end.
Oh, with
The gigantic.
Oh no, that's in the starter set.
No, not that guy. I mean, at the very end of the video, there's like a gigantic construct where you see like. Do you remember that part at the very end where like you see the Marine and the sister kind of look at each other and they like charge?
Oh no,
in?
but no, that's that's one of the. It's a heavy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's a heavy destroyer
'cause it
model.
looks-
It's like but it has both a gun and it has a blaster and it has a double bladed thing.
'cause
So
to me, it looked like a much bigger construct.
So let's talk about everyone is everyone has the this idea because like on Warhammer Community that they're doing a lot of like really like cartoonish animation and they're like, oh, the hobby isn't grim dark anymore. It's like,
okay. Watch that video. How
watch that
Gotham
video,
works
like
on IG.
literally a Necron like steps through a Sister of Battle, like and like
How about the poor guardsman?
yeah.
And they like it's funny because the narration is like basically crapping all over the guard the way it talks. I'm like, what do you? They have flak armor and a las gun. Like, what do you want them to do?
Yeah, and so I just feel like you watch that video and it like kind of changes the perspective of like, oh, this is not like kids version. Look, the Warhammer Community website is a website like they're using art that is probably done in like an hour and a half, 2 hours, so that because they know you're gonna read that article in 5 minutes and be done.
Yeah.
Right, like you're not gonna be coming back. Like, but look at the art in the books. I mean, that is what's
Yeah.
like really tone setting.
I've been looking over a lot of Warcry, and the Warcry art is incredible. The stuff in the rule book, the Tome of Champions, and the Monsters and Mercenaries.
Yeah.
The artwork in that book is incredible.
Yeah.
And the new 40K. We haven't even talked about the cinema stuff they're doing.
No.
Like the Angels of Death.
Yeah, I think that's stuff that we can talk about another time. Like, I mean, just talking about, like, Brian and I were just talking about the different ranges we have that exist entirely in plastic right now while we were in the shop earlier. And it was just, I mean, it's kind of amazing how much we have compared to where we were, like, literally 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean look at the ranges. Like, you look at, I think what started that conversation was the AdMech. I was looking at the AdMech. It's like there's not.
AdMech didn't exist like 5 years ago.
It was the first hobby challenge we did.
Yeah.
Because I remember doing the Skitarii and like that range, and then the Gene Stealer cult. Like those two ranges, like man, that Gene Stealer cult. Rick got booted. Oh, Rick's back. All right, good. Yeah, it's crazy, and you look at the level of detail now compared to something that's like you said 5 years ago. It's different.
Yeah.
Look at Mortarion. Like Mortarion wouldn't have been able to be made 10 years ago. There's no way.
Yeah, Magnus the Red.
No way.
Even the Greater Demons.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
Even the whole Slanesh range. I'm trying to think of like, how about the Yinkarn?
Yeah.
The Yinkarn is incredible. Like we don't even
Harlequins.
Whole Harlequin, the entire Harlequin range. Because
and that's before getting into delving into the Age of Sigmar, the entire Nighthaunt range. Right.
The Nighthaunt range. It's like the stuff they can do now. It's like, I think for people that have been around the hobby a really long time, we're used to like and there's a certain charm to that, right? Like the old. Every Marine had the same pose, but there's a charm to those models too.
Well, there's a charm to like you go back and you see some of those old medals, and they're classic.
They still look
like,
fine.
But like, it's you're very limited.
Mike Shaw just made a great.
Finecast.
Yeah. Let's never have a deal with Finecast ever again.
I mean, here's the thing,
Awful.
And I'll always say this: like the metal models that got put into Finecast were pretty terrible. But models that were designed specifically with
not
Finecast,
as bad.
So when I think of the Eisenhorn model, for instance,
that
model was fine.
Yeah.
And it had some fiddly bits, but they weren't like Eldar head fiddly. You know what I mean? Eldar
mustache.
weapon. Yeah, gluing mustache on fiddly.
Should we talk about gluing mustaches on models?
So
that's a whole other
thing.
Can we talk about the rules, by the way, before we run out of time?
So yeah, we are almost out of time. Let's take a few minutes to talk about rules, and then we'll call it
a design philosophy. I don't know about you, but I'm very excited hearing these interviews with these designers and these playtesters because it sounds like It sounds like they want to make the game more interactive and more dynamic, and they want to get away from play styles and armies that traditionally, in my opinion, aren't very fun to play against. I could be wrong. I'm a totally casual player. I'm not a competitive player. I never don't pretend to be, but I do watch a lot of competitive play. I think it's interesting, and I think it's so weird seeing how different competitive 40K is compared to every other person that plays it, because it looks like a different game, right?
Yeah.
But I never found it that as exciting as AOS, but I think this will actually make competitive 40K more interesting to watch personally.
Well, one of the things I like is having a dynamic interaction with the game, right? Like, it's one thing. Um,
Oh my god!
oh yeah.
Yeah. The Ossiarch,
Yeah.
the Ossiarch big dude in Pewter.
Or the even the new sisters Saint Catherine
Oh,
model,
no, no,
and
no,
like
no.
like with like
Yeah, no
you
way.
have a flying person in metal up on the top, like
Even the Manicore kit, which is not a new kit,
yeah.
it's a really nice kit. The Chaos
Yeah.
Lord Manicore, and then the War Shrine. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people don't like the War Shrine. Actually,
The War Shrine is beautiful, I think. The mutants that carry it, I think, are some of the
there's some very weird things about them if you look really closely.
well, and that's I think they are totally undervalued for their conversion potential for chaos.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that the game needed was dynamic interaction and choice.
Yeah.
So like it's like I'm on an objective and I don't have to currently I don't have to make any choices. I'm on an objective and I just sit there and I shoot. Well, if I have to start making choices, then I have to start making tactical choices. Like if I grab this objective now and a unit's bearing down on me,
You make a decision between the
I have
VP.
to
Yeah.
I have to make a decision between the victory points or the or shooting at that unit. Like
Yeah.
so, and then they have to make that same decision coming back. Like, are they going to wipe you off the objective and then give you a chance? Like, what's going on? So you have to make dynamic choices, and I feel like currently you don't. And I also feel like very excited as a game store owner, like with the tables being able to be like having a set of guidelines for terrain
Yeah.
to be like this is this. I set up the rules for the each piece of terrain so that like people just play and they have a paper they can
Right.
reference for each table.
Yeah, I really like how they're talking specifically about how they want to give examples of what a table should be like if you want the most balanced experience. If you want it to play a different way, you wouldn't. But I think it's really
Right.
cool they're going to give guidance. I think the terrain changes sound really good. Because
Yeah.
like a lot of people, I know a lot of people have played games.
By hands
See
off.
hands off. A lot of people played games where there's just isn't enough table terrain to block line of sight or make line of sight an issue, and oftentimes you see a player just park their army in a spot and they don't
Yeah.
have to move, and it's just a matter of target priority. But if you actually force units to have to move and force players to make decisions, I think that leads to a much better game.
Yeah, and I think additionally, so, like my thought just evaporated in my head. It happens. The
Overwatch?
So Overwatch, I don't think is a big deal.
I think it's good.
I think it's great. I think
Yeah.
again, like making dynamic in-game decisions is important, and I think if if somebody's charging at you, you really have to make a judgment about is it worthwhile. If I have a mob of 30 shooter boys, and you're charging at me with 5 scouts, I'm probably going to spend my Overwatch if there's nothing else that's being charged. But if I'm pretty confident my 30 shooter boys are going to take care of those 5 scouts in combat, so I might not worry about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I'm fairly confident, like 30 shooter boys, especially Bad Moons, can blow up a bunch of wounds in an Overwatch round. But I also but there are other armies that basically built around that one kind of rules manipulation, and I think that's one of the things that we need to get away from is like the idea of manipulating rules in order to benefit your army instead of having a dynamic battle.
Yeah, I think they target play experience from the sound of it. I
Yeah.
don't know, but just listening to all the interviews they've done,
No.
they specifically talked about flyers not being able to block off board space, right?
Yep.
Which is literally what that guy did. Was it last year? I think at the Adepticon, the water bottle guy. I think it was. So they're trying to fix the way flyers interact, which is great. And then making sure vehicles can move and fire without penalty makes you want to move vehicles, which is great. And then having terrain that has specific rules, many of which will block line of sight,
Yeah.
which is great. So like, I don't know. To me, it sounds like this thing with Overwatch. I think really lends itself to like a more exciting game because
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to play a leaf blower army.
No.
Honestly, I really don't. And people that love to play that way, it's more power to them. I just don't find it to be very exciting to play with or against. I never built an army to play like that, but I've played against plenty of armies that play like that. It's just I don't find it very exciting personally.
So, well, I think we could keep going
Yeah, we should probably stop.
for a while. We're about 35 minutes in. So next week, we're going to try to do this next week as well. We'll probably try to do various ways. Like we might do it. We might try to also extend to Twitch, but also on Facebook. But I think next week we'll take a more in-depth look at things like rules, like some of the rules interactions that we know about, and we'll probably talk a little about Crusade, which is one of the things that has me excited.
Yeah.
As more information comes out about various things.
I'd like to talk about Warcry too.
Yeah, and and
that's what I'm digging right now.
Yeah, and so I mean there are just a ton of different ways to interact in the universe from Warhammer, from like Warcry, Underworlds,
Necromunda,
Blackstone Fortress, Zote. Oh my gosh, the Zote.
Oh, we didn't get to talk about the Zote. Oh man, Rick will try to be. No, don't behave. Rick, we don't want to behave.
Yeah. So, but that said, thank you everyone for tuning in. Let us know if there's anything that you would like to see us do. Send us a message. You can message me privately on the Facebook here.
Let's wish Rick luck at his PDP tomorrow.
Good luck, Rick, at your PDP. Gee whiz. Tomorrow is my last day as a teacher as well in Franklin for the summer. And so there's a lot of changes for the summer. It will be crazy. So hopefully we can do this. Now, Brian and I have both basically been isolated, so like we're not wearing our masks. But in the store, you would wear a mask. Currently, the doors are closed. Things will get all cleaned up.
I got a cool cat mask.
Okay, I have my mom sent me like an Iron Man mask. So
nice.
That was nice. So
nice.
Ugh, yeah, I know. So we we're still staying like keeping masks in the shop. We just it's hard to do a little mini podcast with a mask on. That said, when the shop is open,
it's like I don't know how. It probably doesn't sound very good.
Yeah. When the store is open, the mask is required to come in to purchase, just for the sake of everyone. Necromunda. I mean, I'm pretty stoked about.
That's your game.
Yeah, that's my
like
game.
Your
I
game.
like it. Really enjoy it. I actually have a great conversion for an Escher leader, so in my brain. But we'll see. Anyway, everyone, thank you. Send us a message if you want us to focus on anything in the next iteration. In the next iteration of the Bolter Report.
Next week.
So thank you, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.
Adios.